Picture this. You're standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. You've dreamed about this moment your entire life. You pull out your phone to take a selfie, and suddenly someone grabs it right out of your hand and runs away. Your dream vacation just became a nightmare in 3 seconds. Or maybe you sit down at a charming cafe near Notre Dame. You order a coffee. The waiter brings you the bill. 12 euros. For one coffee. You just paid $15 for something that cost 2 euros at the cafe around the corner. These are real stories from real tourists. And here's the crazy part. Both of these disasters could have been completely avoided. Paris is the most visited city in the world. Over 30 million tourists come here every single year. And almost every single one of them makes at least one of the mistakes we're about to talk about today. I'm going to share the top 10 mistakes tourists make in Paris. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly how to avoid them. By the end of this video, you'll know more about visiting Paris than 90% of tourists who come here. You'll save money, you'll save time, and you might even save your entire trip. Let's get started.
Mistake number 10. Only visiting the famous landmarks. Look, I get it. You want to see the Eiffel Tower. You want to see the Louvre. You want to see Notre Dame and the Arc de Triomphe. These are iconic places, and you absolutely should visit them. But here's the problem. Most tourists spend their entire trip checking off the big landmarks, and then they go home thinking they've seen Paris. They haven't seen Paris. They've seen a greatest hits collection. The real Paris isn't at the Eiffel Tower. The real Paris is in the neighborhoods. It's in the small streets where actual Parisians live and work and eat and shop. Think about it this way. If someone visited your hometown and only went to the most famous tourist attraction, would they really understand your city? Of course not. Some tourists spend 3 days in Paris and never leave the area around the Eiffel Tower and the Champs-Élysées. That's like visiting New York and never leaving Times Square. You're missing everything that makes the city special. Here's what you should do instead. Yes, visit the famous landmarks, but dedicate at least half of your time to exploring neighborhoods that most tourists never see. Go to the Marais. This is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Paris. The streets are narrow and winding. There are tiny boutiques and vintage shops. There are incredible falafel restaurants and Jewish bakeries. You'll see beautiful old buildings that have been standing for 400 years. Visit Montmartre. But don't just go to Sacré-Cœur and leave. Walk around the neighborhood. Find the little cafes where local artists hang out. There's a reason Picasso and Van Gogh lived here. Check out Belleville. This is where you'll find some of the best street art in Europe. It's a multicultural neighborhood with amazing food from Vietnam, China, North Africa, and everywhere else. And the prices are half what you'll pay in the touristy areas. Go to Canal Saint-Martin. Young Parisians hang out here on weekends. They sit by the canal with wine and cheese and just enjoy life. You can do the same thing. Buy some food from a local shop and have a picnic. Here's a specific tip. Pick one neighborhood for each day of your trip. Spend a few hours just wandering around with no specific destination. Get lost on purpose. That's when you'll stumble onto the small bakery that's been family-owned for 3 generations. That's when you'll find the tiny park where neighborhood kids are playing soccer. That's when you'll see the Paris that actually exists, not the Paris from postcards. The famous landmarks are famous for a reason. But if that's all you see, you're only experiencing about 10% of what Paris has to offer. Don't make that mistake. Mistake number 9. Eating at tourist trap restaurants. This is the mistake that will hurt your wallet and your stomach at the same time. Here's how you spot a tourist trap restaurant in Paris. First, they have a menu in 6 different languages posted outside. Second, there's someone standing at the door trying to convince you to come inside. Third, the menu has pictures of all the food. And fourth, it's located on a major street near a famous landmark. If a restaurant has all 4 of these things, run away fast. These restaurants know you're probably only visiting Paris once. They know you'll never come back, so they have zero incentive to serve you good food at a fair price. They just need to get you in the door, serve you mediocre food, charge you way too much, and move on to the next tourist. I've heard so many horror stories. A family of 4 pays 200 euros for pasta and salad. A couple orders steak, and it arrives tough and overcooked. Someone orders French onion soup and it tastes like it came from a can. And here's the worst part. After having these terrible meals, tourists go home and tell everyone that Parisian food is overrated. but they never actually ate Parisian food. They ate tourist food. Real Parisian restaurants are incredible. The bread is fresh. The ingredients are high quality. The cooking is done with care, and surprisingly, it often costs less than the tourist traps. So how do you find real restaurants? First rule: walk at least 3 blocks away from any major landmark. The farther you get from the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre, the better the food gets and the lower the prices go. Second rule: look for restaurants where the menu is only in French. I know this sounds intimidating, but most restaurants will help you translate. And if the menu is only in French, that means they're cooking for French people, not tourists. Third rule: if you see a restaurant that's completely empty at lunch or dinner time, that's a red flag. Good restaurants have customers, but don't go somewhere that's completely packed with obvious tourists either. Look for places where you see French people eating.
Fourth rule: use your phone to check reviews, but be smart about it. Don't just look at the star rating. Read the actual reviews. If someone says the waiter didn't speak English very well, that might actually be a good sign. It means locals eat there. Let me give you some specific examples of good places to eat that aren't tourist traps. For breakfast or lunch, go to a real boulangerie. That's a French bakery. Get a croissant or a pain au chocolat. Get a jambon beurre, which is a ham and butter sandwich on a baguette. It sounds simple, but it's delicious, and it costs like €4. For a sit-down meal, look for small bistros on side streets. There's a type of restaurant called a bistrot that serves traditional French food at reasonable prices. These places usually have a small menu that changes based on what's fresh. That's a good sign. Here's an insider secret. Many restaurants in Paris offer a full meal or menu at lunch. This is a fixed price meal that includes multiple courses. You might get an appetizer, main course, and dessert for 20 or 25 euros. The exact same food would cost 50 euros if you ordered it at dinner. Also, don't be afraid to eat ethnic food in Paris. Some tourists think they have to eat French food every single meal. But Paris has incredible Vietnamese restaurants, amazing North African cuisine, fantastic Lebanese food. And these places are often cheaper and less touristy than French restaurants. One more tip about restaurants. In Paris, you have to ask for the check. The waiter won't bring it automatically. This isn't rude. It's actually polite. The French think it's rude to rush people out of a restaurant. So when you're finished eating, you need to catch the waiter's eye and make a little writing gesture in the air. That means you want the check. The difference between tourist trap restaurants and real restaurants is like night and day. Don't waste your money and your appetite on bad food when you're in one of the greatest food cities in the world. Mistake number 8. Not validating your metro ticket properly. This seems like a small technical thing, but it causes huge problems for tourists every single day. Paris has an amazing metro system. It's fast, it's efficient, and it goes everywhere. A single ticket costs about €2. You can get across the entire city in 30 minutes. Tourists who figure out the metro have a much better time than tourists who take taxis everywhere. But there's a catch. And this catch costs tourists hundreds of thousands of euros in fines every year. When you buy a metro ticket, you have to validate it. You put it into the little machine at the turnstile. The machine punches a hole in it and prints the date and time. Then the machine spits it back out and you walk through the turnstile. Here's the mistake tourists make. They put the ticket in the machine. They walk through the turnstile. And then they throw the ticket away. Don't do this. You need to keep that ticket until you completely exit the metro station. Why? Because Paris has metro inspectors who check tickets randomly. They don't check at the entrance. They check inside the metro or when you're exiting. If you don't have your validated ticket, they fine you. And the fine is not small. It's usually around 50 euros or more. The inspectors don't care that you're a tourist. They don't care that you paid for a ticket but threw it away. No ticket means a fine. Period. I've seen tourists arguing with inspectors, showing them receipts from the ticket machine. Doesn't matter. The rule is you must have the physical validated ticket with you. This happens constantly at tourist-heavy stations like Chatelet or Gare du Nord. The inspectors know tourists make this mistake, so they target those areas. Here's exactly what you need to do. Buy your ticket, put it through the machine at the entrance. When it comes back out, grab it and put it in your pocket or your bag. Keep it there until you walk out of the exit turnstile at your destination. Then you can throw it away. Some other metro tips while we're on this subject. Buy a book of 10 tickets, called a car nut. It's cheaper than buying individual tickets. Or if you're staying for several days, get a week pass. It pays for itself quickly and you don't have to worry about buying tickets all the time. Watch out for pickpockets on the metro. They target tourists specifically. Keep your wallet in your front pocket. Keep your phone in your hand or in a secure pocket. Keep your bag in front of you where you can see it. The most common spots for pickpockets are the really crowded lines like Line 1, Line 4, and Line 14. The metro closes around 1 a.m. on weeknights and around 2 a.m. on weekends. If you're out late, you'll need to take a taxi or use Uber. Don't eat on the metro. Technically, you're not supposed to, and you'll get dirty looks from French people. Give up your seat to elderly people, pregnant women, and people with disabilities. The French take this seriously. And one last tip. Download a metro app on your phone. City Mapper works great in Paris. It tells you exactly which train to take and when. It's way easier than trying to read the metro maps. The Paris Metro can save you so much time and money. But you have to follow the rules. Keep your validated ticket. Stay aware of your surroundings. And you'll be fine.
Mistake number 7. Trying to do too much in one day. I see this all the time. Tourists create these impossible schedules. They want to visit the Louvre, climb the Eiffel Tower, see Notre Dame, go to Versailles, walk the Champs-Élysées, visit Montmartre, have a fancy dinner, and take a river cruise, all in one day. It's not going to happen. And trying to do it will ruin your trip. Here's what actually happens. You wake up early because you have so much planned. You rush to the Louvre when it opens. There's a line. You wait 45 minutes. You finally get inside. The museum is enormous. You speed walk through it, trying to see everything. You see the Mona Lisa from behind a crowd of 200 people. You leave feeling stressed and exhausted. Then you rush to the Eiffel Tower. Another line. Another hour. Wait. By the time you get to the top, your feet hurt and you're starving because you skipped lunch. You take some photos and immediately leave because you're behind schedule. You take the metro to Montmartre. You climb the stairs to Sacré-Cœur. Your legs are killing you. You spend 10 minutes at the church and then rush back down because you have dinner reservations. By 8 p.m., you're sitting at a restaurant, but you're so exhausted you can barely enjoy the food. You skip dessert because you're too tired. You go back to your hotel and collapse. Congratulations. You just had a terrible day in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. This is not a vacation. This is a death march. Paris is not a place to rush through. It's a place to experience slowly. The whole point of Paris is to enjoy the moment. Sit at a cafe and watch people walk by. Take a slow walk along the Seine. Spend 3 hours at a museum really looking at the art instead of speed walking past it. Here's a better way to plan your days in Paris. Pick one major activity per day. Just one. If you're going to the Louvre, that's your main thing for the day. If you're visiting Versailles, that takes the whole day. If you're climbing the Eiffel Tower, build your day around that. Sound effect. Calm music, then add small, flexible activities that don't require tickets or reservations. Walk through a neighborhood. Stop at a cafe. Visit a small museum. Browse a bookshop. These things don't have time pressure. If you're tired, you can skip them. If you're having fun, you can spend more time on them. Build in rest time. Seriously, schedule time to go back to your hotel in the afternoon and rest for an hour. Or find a park and sit down for 30 minutes. Your body needs breaks, especially if you're walking 10 miles a day. Accept that you won't see everything. You physically cannot visit every famous place in Paris in one trip. That's okay. Pick the things that matter most to you and do those well. It's better to really experience 5 things than to rush through 20. Let me give you an example of a realistic, enjoyable day in Paris. Start with breakfast at a cafe near your hotel. Take your time. Order a croissant and a coffee. Sit outside if the weather is nice. Spend 45 minutes just waking up and watching Paris come to life. Then go to your main activity. Let's say it's the Louvre. You book tickets online, so you don't wait in line. You spend 3 hours inside, focusing on the sections you really want to see. You don't try to see everything. Come out around 1 o'clock p.m. You're hungry. You walk toward the Latin Quarter, which is about 20 minutes away. You see the Seine. You cross over a beautiful bridge. You're not rushing. just walking and looking around. You find a small restaurant on a side street. You have lunch. You order the fixed price menu. You enjoy your food. You're not checking your watch every 5 minutes. After lunch, you walk through the Latin Quarter. You browse the bookstalls along the Seine. You stop at Shakespeare and Company, the famous English bookstore. You spend 30 minutes looking at books. You walk to Luxembourg Gardens. It's 3 p.m. You're tired from all the walking. You find a chair near the fountain. You sit down. You rest. Maybe you read. Maybe you people watch. You spend an hour doing basically nothing. Around 4 p.m., you head back toward your hotel. You take the metro this time because your feet need a break. You go to your hotel room and rest for an hour. At 7 p.m., you leave for dinner. You chose a restaurant in your neighborhood so you don't have to travel far. You have a relaxed, enjoyable meal. You order dessert because you're not exhausted. After dinner, you take an evening walk. You see the Eiffel Tower lit up at night. You sit on the Trocade row and watch it sparkle. You head back to your hotel around 10 p.m., feeling happy and satisfied. See the difference? You still did a lot, but you didn't kill yourself doing it. You actually enjoyed your day instead of just surviving it. Paris will still be there next time. You don't have to see everything right now. Slow down. Enjoy it. That's the whole point.
Mistake number 6. Not booking popular attractions in advance. Imagine this. You wake up in Paris. Today's the day you're finally going to see the Eiffel Tower. You get dressed, eat breakfast, and walk to the tower. You're so excited. This is a dream come true. You get there and see a line of about 3,000 people. You ask someone how long the wait is. They say 3 to 4 hours. You look at your phone. It's already noon. If you wait in line, you won't get to the top until 4 p.m. Your whole day is gone. This happens every single day in Paris, especially at the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and Versailles. Most tourists don't realize you can book tickets online in advance. They just show up and hope for the best. Then they waste half their vacation standing in lines. Here's the truth. All the major attractions in Paris sell tickets online, and you should absolutely buy them before you arrive. The Eiffel Tower. Book online weeks in advance if possible. Choose a specific time slot. When you arrive, you go to a special entrance for people with reservations. You skip the massive line. You're at the top in 30 minutes instead of 4 hours. The Louvre? Same thing. Buy tickets online. Pick a time slot. There's usually a short security line, but it's nothing compared to the ticket line. Versailles? This is the most important one to book in advance. Versailles is about 45 minutes outside Paris. If you take the train there without a ticket and find a 2-hour wait, you might not even get inside before it closes. Book online. Get the passport ticket that includes the palace, the gardens, and everything else. The Sainte-Chapelle is another big one. It's a beautiful medieval chapel with incredible stained glass windows. It's small and can only hold a limited number of people. The line outside can be 2 hours long. But if you book online, you walk right in. Arc de Triomphe. You can book online and skip the line. Even museums like the Musée d'Orsay and the Orangerie offer online tickets. Use them. Here's how to do this the right way. Before you leave Paris, you want to visit which attractions. With your calendar, then go to the official websites and book tickets. Not a third-party website, the actual official website. They usually charge less and they're more reliable.
Book specific time slots. Yes, this means you're committing to a schedule. But trust me, it's worth it. The freedom of not waiting in lines is better than the freedom of a flexible schedule. Put all your confirmation emails in a folder on your phone. When you arrive at each attraction, you'll need to show your confirmation. Sometimes you can just show the email. Sometimes you'll need a QR code. Have everything ready before you get in line. What if you're someone who likes to be spontaneous and doesn't want to plan everything? I understand, but at least book the big 3: Eiffel Tower, Louvre, and Versailles. Those are non-negotiable. The lines are too long to risk it. For other attractions, you can play it by ear. Many smaller museums and churches don't require advance booking. You can just show up. Here's another tip. Some attractions have free days or free hours. The first Sunday of each month, many museums are free. But guess what? Everybody knows this. The lines are even longer on free days. If you're trying to save money, it might be worth it. but you'll wait a long time. Instead, consider getting the Paris Museum Pass if you're planning to visit a lot of museums. It covers about 50 museums and monuments. You still need to book time slots for some places, but the pass often has its own faster line. Plus, you save money if you're visiting more than 4 or 5 places. One more important thing: some attractions close on certain days. The Louvre is closed on Tuesdays. The Musée d'Orsay is closed on Mondays. Versailles is closed on Mondays. Check before you plan your schedule. Don't show up to the Louvre on Tuesday and find out it's closed. I know this seems like a lot of planning, but think about it this way. Would you rather spend 2 hours at home booking tickets, or spend 8 hours of your vacation standing in lines? The choice is obvious. Book in advance. Skip the lines. Have more time to actually enjoy Paris. It's that simple. Mistake number 5. Falling for scams. I hate talking about this. Paris is a wonderful city full of good people, but like any major tourist destination, there are scammers who specifically target visitors, and they're good at what they do. If you know what to look for, you can avoid all of them. If you don't, you might lose money, belongings, or even get hurt. Let's go through the most common scams in Paris. The friendship bracelet scam. This usually happens near tourist spots like Sacré-Cœur or the Eiffel Tower. A friendly person approaches you. They might compliment you or start making small talk. Then they say, "I want to give you a friendship bracelet." They quickly tie a woven bracelet around your wrist. It happens fast. Before you know it, it's on your wrist and hard to remove. Then they demand money, usually 20 or 30 euros. They can get aggressive if you refuse. What do? First, don't let anyone tie anything on your wrist. The moment someone approaches with a bracelet or string, say no firmly and walk away. Keep your hands in your pockets if you have to. If they manage to get it on your wrist, take it off and give it back. Don't pay. Just walk away. They won't follow you far because they're looking for easy targets, not confrontation. The gold ring scam. You're walking down the street. Someone in front of you finds a gold ring on the ground. They pick it up and show it to you. "Look, gold ring. Is it yours?" You say no. They say, "Well, since we both found it, maybe you can give me something for it? How about 20 euros? The ring is worthless. It's fake gold." The scammer planted it there. What do? Just keep walking. Don't even engage in conversation. If someone tries to show you something they found, ignore them completely. The petition scam. This one's clever. Someone approaches you with a clipboard and a petition. It's usually about helping deaf children or some other sympathetic cause. They ask you to sign. While you're distracted signing the petition, their partner pickpockets you. Or sometimes, after you sign, they demand a donation of 20 or 30 euros. They can get aggressive about it. What do? Never sign petitions on the street. Legitimate charities don't collect signatures this way. If someone approaches you with a clipboard, say no and keep walking.
The metro ticket scam. Simeon near a metro station offers to sell you metro tickets at a discount. They say they have extra tickets they don't need. The tickets look real. You buy them. When you try to use them, they don't work. They were already used or they're fake. What do? Only buy metro tickets from official machines or official ticket windows. Never buy tickets from individuals on the street. The 3-card Monty and cup scam. You see people on the street playing a game with 3 cards or 3 cups. They move them around quickly. Someone in the crowd just won money. It looks easy. You think you can win. This is always a scam. The person who just won is working with the dealer. The game is rigged. You cannot win. You will lose money. What do? Don't gamble on the street. Ever. Just walk past these games. The taxi scam. You get in a taxi. The driver doesn't turn on the meter. When you arrive at your destination, he charges you way more than the trip should cost. He might say the meter is broken or just refuse to turn it on. Or sometimes drivers take the longest possible route to run up the meter. Or they claim you gave them a smaller bill than you actually gave them. What do? Before the taxi starts moving, make sure the meter is running. If the driver refuses to turn it on, get out of the taxi. Take a photo of the taxi license number if there's a problem. Report it. Better yet, use Uber or Bolt. Everything's documented and you see the price before you book. The overpriced restaurant scam. We talked about tourist trap restaurants earlier. But there's a specific scam version. You sit down at a cafe. You order a coffee. The waiter brings you a small bowl of nuts or olives without asking. You eat a few. When the bill comes, you're charged €10 for the nuts you didn't order. Or the menu shows prices for food but not drinks. You order a soda. It costs €8. You're shocked but you have to pay. What do? Always check the menu for all prices, including drinks. If a waiter brings you something you didn't order, ask if it's free before you eat it. Check your bill before you pay. If something seems wrong, question it. The pickpocket problem. This isn't exactly a scam, but it's the biggest theft problem in Paris. Pickpockets work in teams. They're professionals. They target tourists on the metro, at monuments, and in crowded areas. Common techniques. One person bumps into you while another takes your wallet. Someone asks you for directions while their partner picks your pocket. Someone accidentally spills something on you and offers to help clean it while stealing from you. A group of teenagers surrounds you on the metro with cardboard signs, blocking your view while they rob you. What do? Don't keep your wallet in your back pocket. Don't keep your phone in an easy-to-reach pocket. Keep your bag in front of you where you can see it. If someone bumps into you, immediately check your pockets. If a group of people surrounds you, push through them and move away. Be extra careful on crowded metro lines, especially Line 1 and Line 4. Use a crossbody bag that closes securely. Don't leave your phone on the table at restaurants. Don't hang your bag on the back of your chair. These are invitations to be robbed. One more scam. Simeon approaches you and asks if you speak English. They say they're tourists too and they're lost. Can you help them? While you're looking at their map or phone, their partner pickpockets you. What do? You can still help people, but be smart about it. Keep your belongings secure. Don't let anyone distract you. Here's the overall strategy for avoiding scams. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't let strangers touch you or tie things on you. Don't buy things on the street. Don't play street games. Keep your valuables secure. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, walk away. Most people you meet in Paris are honest and kind. But the scammers are there, and they're good at what they do. Don't let fear ruin your trip, but don't be naive either. Stay alert and you'll be fine. Mistake number 4. Not understanding cafe culture and etiquette. Cafes are a huge part of Parisian life, but tourists constantly make mistakes that mark them as outsiders and sometimes cause frustration or confusion. Let's start with the basics. In Paris, there are usually 3 different prices for the same drink depending on where you consume it. At the bar while standing is cheapest. Sitting inside is more expensive. Sitting at an outdoor table is most expensive. Why? Because when you sit at a table, you're not just buying a coffee, you're renting the table. You can sit there for as long as you want. Nobody will rush you. You could sit there for 3 hours with one coffee and nobody will bother you. This is completely different from coffee culture in America or Britain, where you grab your coffee and leave. In Paris, cafe sitting is a social activity. It's about watching people, reading a book, having a conversation, being in the moment. Here's what tourists get wrong. They order a coffee, drink it in 5 minutes, and then feel awkward about sitting there. They think they should leave. Don't. You paid for that table. Use it. Relax. Enjoy being in Paris. Or the opposite problem. Tourists sit down and then get frustrated because the service is slow. They wait 10 minutes for the waiter to bring a menu. They wait another 10 minutes to order. They think the service is terrible. But this isn't bad service. This is intentional. The waiter is giving you space. They're not hovering over you. They will come when you signal them. Make eye contact and raise your hand slightly. They'll come over. Don't snap your fingers. Don't whistle. Just make eye contact. When you're ready for the check, you need to ask for it. Say l'addition, s'il vous plaît, or just make that little writing gesture in the air that we talked about earlier. The waiter will bring it. But again, there's no rush. You can sit there after you pay if you want. Here's another thing tourists get wrong. They order coffee and are disappointed by what arrives. If you order on cafe, you get an espresso, a tiny cup with strong coffee. That's the default coffee in France. If you want something more like American coffee, order un café long or un café américain. That's espresso with hot water added. It's not exactly like drip coffee, but it's closer. If you want coffee with milk, you have options. Un café carmé is coffee with steamed milk, similar to a latte. Un café au lait is coffee with regular milk. Un cappuccino is basically the same as anywhere else. But here's the thing. French people don't usually drink coffee with milk after morning. If you order a cappuccino at 3 p.m., the waiter might give you a look. They'll still serve it, but they'll think it's weird. This is a cultural thing. Morning is for milk drinks. Afternoon and evening are for straight espresso.
Should you care about this? Not really. You're a tourist. Order what you want. But now you know why the waiter seemed surprised. Let's talk about tipping. This confuses everyone. In France, service is included in the price. The waiter gets paid a real wage. You don't have to tip like you do in America, but you can leave a small tip for good service. €1 or 2 is nice. Maybe 5% if the service was excellent, but 15 or 20% like in America. No, that's not expected and it's not necessary. Some tourists don't know this and leave huge tips. Others know service is included and leave nothing. The polite thing is to leave a little something. Round up the bill. Leave the change. It's a small gesture that's appreciated. One more caf etiquette tip. If you just want to use the bathroom, it's polite to at least buy something small. Some cafes technically have bathrooms for customers only. You might see a sign that says toilettes are servies la clientèle. That means toilets for customers only. Buy a water or a coffee, use the bathroom, and you're good. Now let's talk about what to eat at cafes. Tourists often don't realize cafes serve food. You can get sandwiches, salads, croque monsieurs, omelets, and more. The food is usually decent and the prices are reasonable. You don't have to find a formal restaurant for every meal. Breakfast at a cafe is a classic Parisian experience. Order a croissant or pain au chocolate and a coffee. Sit outside if the weather's nice. Watch Paris wake up. It's simple, but it's perfect. Here's something else tourists don't know. The same place can be a cafe, a brasserie, and a restaurant all at once. Cafe usually means they focus on drinks but serve simple food. Brasserie usually means they serve full meals all day. Restaurant is more formal, with specific lunch and dinner hours. But the lines between these are blurry, and the words are sometimes used interchangeably. One last cafe tip. Don't expect free Wi-Fi everywhere. Some cafes have it, some don't, some have it, but won't give you the password unless you buy something. This is normal. If you need Wi-Fi, ask politely. Avez-vous le Wi-Fi? Usually they'll give you the password written on a little card or receipt. And please, don't sit at a cafe for 3 hours using the Wi-Fi without ordering anything else. That's considered rude. If you're going to work on your laptop for hours, order multiple drinks or some food. Be a good customer. Understanding cafe culture makes Paris so much better. Cafes aren't just places to grab a quick coffee. They're places to experience life. Slow down. Sit. Watch. Enjoy. That's what Parisians do. That's what you should do too.
Mistake number 3. Not learning any French phrases. Let me be clear about something. You do not need to speak fluent French to visit Paris. Most people in the tourism industry speak at least some English. You'll survive with only English. But you'll have a much better experience if you learn just a few basic French phrases. I'm talking about 10 phrases. That's it. 10 phrases will completely change how Parisians interact with you. Here's why this matters. There's a stereotype that Parisians are rude. Americans especially complain about this. We went to Paris and everyone was so rude to us. But here's the truth. In most cases, it's not that Parisians are rude. It's that tourists are accidentally being rude without realizing it. In French culture, you don't just walk up to someone and start talking. You don't walk into a shop and immediately say, "Where are the bathrooms?" You don't approach a waiter and say, "I want coffee." That's considered incredibly rude. You're treating people like servants instead of human beings. The French way is to start every interaction with a greeting. Every single interaction. Walk into a bakery. Say bonjour first. Approach a waiter. Say bonjour first. Ask someone for directions. Say bonjour first. This is not optional. This is basic politeness in France. It's like saying please and thank you in English. You just do it. Tourists who skip the greeting come across as rude, even if they don't mean to. Then they wonder why Parisians seem cold or unfriendly. But the Parisian is thinking this person just walked up to me and started demanding things without even saying hello. How rude! So here's what you need to do. Learn these phrases. Practice them. Use them every single time. Bonjour. Hello. Use this during the day. Bonsoir. Good evening. Use this after around 6 p.m. S'il vous plaît. Please. Use this constantly. Add it to every request. Merci. Thank you. You probably know this one already. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Even better than just merci, excuses more. Excuse me. Use this to get someone's attention politely. Parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? After you say bonjour, you can ask this. Most people will say yes or no. If they say yes, you can continue in English. Je ne parle pas français. I don't speak French. This is helpful if someone starts speaking French to you and you don't understand. L'addition, s'il vous plaît. The check, please. You'll use this at every restaurant. Au revoir. Goodbye. When you leave a shop or restaurant, say this. That's 10 phrases. Even if your pronunciation is terrible, the effort matters. Parisians appreciate when tourists try to speak French, even just a little bit. Here's how this changes your interactions. Instead of walking into a bakery and saying, "Do you have croissants?" you say bonjour, parlez-vous anglais? The person says yes. You say great. Do you have croissants? S'il vous plaît. You get your croissants. You say merci beaucoup. When you leave, you say au revoir. See the difference? You acknowledge the person. You ask politely. You said please and thank you. That person will be much friendlier to you than if you just demanded croissants. I've seen this transformation happen so many times. Tourists who complain that everyone in Paris is rude, I watch how they interact with people. They walk into places without greeting anyone. They point at things and grunt. They don't say please or thank you. Then they're shocked when people aren't warm and friendly to them. Meanwhile, tourists who use basic French phrases have completely different experiences. Shop owners smile at them. Waiters are patient and helpful. People on the street give them good directions. It's not that one group got lucky with nice Parisians and the other group got unlucky with rude ones. It's that one group followed basic French etiquette and the other didn't. You might be thinking, but I'm uncomfortable speaking French. My accent is bad. I'll embarrass myself. Nobody cares about your accent. The effort is what matters. Parisians respect that you tried. And honestly, your English accent speaking French is probably better than you think. French people hear English accents all the time. They're used to it. Just do your best. Want to go beyond the basic 10? Here are a few more useful phrases. OS ... Where is ... Follow this with whatever you're looking for. Oh, est la toilette? Where is the bathroom? Combien coûte? How much does this cost? Je voudrais. I would like. This is more polite than I want. You any table pour deux, s'il vous plaît? A table for two, please. C'est délicieux. It's delicious. Say this at restaurants. Chefs and waiters love hearing this. Désolé. Sorry. Use this if you bump into someone or make a mistake. You can also learn numbers in French. It's helpful for understanding prices and addresses. But here's the thing. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have long conversations in French. You just need to make the effort to be polite in the French way. Start with bonjour. That's the most important one. Say bonjour to everyone. The person at the hotel desk. The bus driver. The person sitting next to you at a cafe. Everyone. Add s'il vous plaît and merci to everything. These 3 words alone will make you seem polite instead of demanding. One cultural note. The French use formal and informal speech. Vous is formal. Tu is informal. Always use vous with people you don't know. Only use tu with close friends and children. If you stick to the phrases I gave you, you'll be using vous, which is correct. Another tip. When you walk into a small shop, the owner will probably say bonjour to you. Say it back. This is expected. If you walk in and stay silent, that's weird. Just say bonjour back. Then you can browse or ask for what you need. Learning basic French phrases shows respect. You're in someone else's country. Making an effort to speak their language, even badly, shows you care. That goes a long way. The tourists who have the best experiences in Paris are the ones who try. The ones who say bonjour. The ones who attempt French even if they mess it up. The ones who smile and are patient when there's a language barrier. Don't be the tourist who expects everyone to speak English and gets frustrated when they don't. Be the tourist who appreciates that you're a guest in someone else's culture. Make an effort. You'll be amazed at how much friendlier Paris becomes.
Mistake number 2. Wasting time and money on the wrong transportation. Transportation in Paris can make or break your trip. Use the right methods and you'll save hundreds of euros and hours of time. Use the wrong methods and you'll blow your budget while sitting in traffic. Let's talk about what not to do first. Don't take taxis everywhere. I know it's tempting. You're tired. You don't want to figure out the metro. You just want someone to drive you where you need to go. But Paris traffic is terrible. A taxi ride that should take 15 minutes can take 45 minutes during rush hour. And you're paying by the meter the whole time, watching euros tick away while you sit in a traffic jam. Plus, taxi fares in Paris are expensive. A 20-minute ride can easily cost 30 to 40 euros. If you're taking taxis everywhere for a week, you could spend 300 or 400 euros just on transportation. Uber and Bolt are options too. They're usually a bit cheaper than taxis. The advantage is you know the price before you book. The disadvantage is you're still sitting in the same traffic. Taxis and rideshares have their place. If you're arriving at the airport late at night with lots of luggage, a taxi makes sense. If you're going somewhere far from a metro station, okay. If you have mobility issues that make the metro difficult, absolutely use taxis. But for everyday sightseeing, the metro is better in almost every way. The Paris metro is fast, cheap, and goes everywhere tourists want to go. A single ticket is €2 and some change. You can cross the entire city for that price. Compare that to a €30 taxi ride. The metro runs frequently. Trains come every 2 to 5 minutes during the day. You never wait long. And because metros don't sit in traffic, your travel time is predictable. The metro from your hotel to the Louvre takes 20 minutes. It will take 20 minutes whether it's rush hour or midnight. We already talked about how to use the metro safely and keep your validated ticket. Now let's talk strategy. Get a Navigo Easy card on your first day. This is a reusable card that costs €2. You can load single tickets onto it, or a day pass, or a week pass. It's way better than buying paper tickets every time. The card works for the metro, buses, and some trains. If you're staying in Paris for a week, get a week pass called Navigo Semaine. It costs about €30 and gives you unlimited metro, bus, and RER trains within the city for a week. If you're taking the metro twice a day, it pays for itself in 3 days. Download the Metro app Citymapper or Bonjour Rat. These apps show you exactly which metro line to take, where to transfer, and how long it takes. They're incredibly helpful.
Learn the main metro lines. Line 1 goes from east to west, hitting major tourist spots like the Louvre, Champs-Élysées, and La Défense. Line 4 goes from north to south. Line 7, Line 8, Line 9 are all useful for tourists. You'll probably use these most. Now let's talk about buses. Tourists completely ignore Parisian buses. This is a mistake. Buses are great for several reasons. First, you see the city while you travel. You're above ground looking at Paris instead of underground in a tunnel. It's way more enjoyable. Second, buses are less crowded than metros. More comfortable. Less chance of pickpockets. Third, buses use the same tickets as the metro. If you have a week pass, buses are included. The downside is buses are slower. They stop frequently. They sit in traffic. A bus trip might take twice as long as the metro. But if you have time and want to see the city, buses are wonderful. Line 69 is a tourist favorite. It passes the Eiffel Tower, the Seine, the Louvre, and the Marais. You can see major sights just by riding the bus. Now let's talk about getting to and from the airport. Most tourists arrive at Charles de Gaulle Airport, also called CDG. It's about 25 kilometers from central Paris. A taxi from the airport to central Paris has a flat rate of around 50 to 60 euros. That's per trip, not per person. For a solo traveler, that's expensive. For a family of four, splitting the cost, it's more reasonable. The budget option is the RER train. The RER B line goes directly from the airport to central Paris. Tickets cost about 12 euros per person. The trip takes about 45 minutes to an hour depending on where you're going in the city. The RER is cheap, but it has downsides. The trains can be very crowded. If you have big luggage, it's a struggle. Also, the RER has a reputation for pickpockets, especially on airport runs, because they know tourists have all their valuables with them. If you take the RER, be extra vigilant. Keep your luggage right next to you. Keep your hand on your bag. Don't leave anything in outside pockets. Watch your surroundings. Most trips are fine, but stay alert. There's also a bus called Le Bus Direct that goes from the airport to major points in Paris. It costs around 20 euros, has room for luggage, and is more comfortable than the RER. It takes about an hour depending on traffic. For getting around Paris itself, here's my recommendation. Use the metro as your default. It's fast and cheap. Use buses when you have extra time and want to see the city. Use taxis or Uber for late-night trips, bad weather, or when you're carrying lots of stuff. Use rideshare bikes or scooters for short distances in nice weather.
Paris has Velo bikes and electric scooters from Lime and other companies all over the city. These are fun for short trips. You can rent them with an app on your phone. They're great for going a few blocks or exploring a neighborhood. But they're not ideal for crossing the whole city or if you're not comfortable biking in traffic. Walking is also amazing in Paris. The city is beautiful and many neighborhoods are best explored on foot. Central Paris is smaller than you think. You can walk from the Louvre to Notre Dame in 15 minutes. From Notre Dame to the Latin Quarter in 10 minutes. Don't underestimate walking as a transportation method. Here's a money-saving tip. The metro and buses in Paris run until about 1 a.m. on weeknights and 2 a.m. on weekends. If you're out late and miss the last metro, you have to take a taxi. Taxis know this and prices surge late at night. If you're going out at night, check when the last metro leaves from wherever you are. Set a phone alarm for 30 minutes before the last train. That way, you're not stuck paying 40 euros for a taxi. One more transportation tip. Don't rent a car in Paris. Just don't. Driving in Paris is stressful. Traffic is bad. Parking is expensive and hard to find. You don't need a car. The public transportation is excellent. If you want to visit somewhere outside Paris like the Loire Valley or Normandy, rent a car for just those days, not for your whole trip. The bottom line on transportation, use the metro. Get a week pass if you're staying a week. Download the metro app. Stay alert for pickpockets. Walk when distances are short. Take buses for scenic routes. Save taxes for when you really need them. Transportation done right saves you time and money. Transportation done wrong wastes both. Make smart choices.
And now we've reached mistake number 1. The biggest mistake tourists make in Paris. Rushing through the Louvre. The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world. Over 9 million people go there every year. It's home to the Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo, and thousands of other incredible works of art. And most tourists completely waste their visit. Here's what happens. Tourists arrive at the Louvre without a plan. They wander in. The museum is absolutely massive. There are over 35,000 pieces of art spread across 3 wings and 4 floors. You could spend days there and not see everything. But tourists think they need to see everything. So they speed walk through gallery after gallery. They're not looking at the art. They're just checking boxes. We saw the Mona Lisa. Check. We saw the Venus de Milo. Check. We saw the ancient Egyptian stuff. Check. After 2 hours, they're exhausted. Their feet hurt. They're overwhelmed. They leave feeling like they've accomplished something, but they haven't actually experienced anything. Or here's the other version. Tourists go to the Louvre specifically to see the Mona Lisa. They follow the signs. They walk through about 6 rooms without looking at anything. They get to the Mona Lisa room. There are 300 people crowded around a small painting behind glass. They fight through the crowd. They take a selfie. They leave. They just spent 3 hours at the Louvre and saw one painting for 30 seconds. What a waste. The Louvre deserves better than this. You deserve better than this. Here's how to do the Louvre right. First, accept that you cannot see everything. You physically cannot. Even if you spent 8 hours there, you couldn't see everything properly. And 8 hours in a museum is exhausting. Most people are done after 3 or 4 hours maximum. So instead of trying to see everything, pick 1 or 2 sections that really interest you. Focus on those. Ignore everything else. Like ancient Egypt, the Louvre has an incredible Egyptian collection. Spend 2 hours just in the Egyptian galleries. Really? Look at the artifacts. Read the descriptions. Learn something. Love Italian Renaissance art? Focus on that section. See the Mona Lisa, but also see all the other Renaissance paintings. There are incredible works by Raphael, Titian, and Caravaggio that most tourists walk right past. Into ancient Greek and Roman sculpture, the Louvre's collection is world-class. The Venus de Milo is just the beginning. Spend time with the sculptures. Walk around them. Appreciate the craftsmanship. Interested in French paintings? The Louvre has entire rooms of them. Delacroix, David, Ingres. These are masterpieces that many tourists never see because they're too busy running to the Mona Lisa. Here's my specific advice for visiting the Louvre. Book your ticket online with a time slot. This is crucial. The line to buy tickets can be 2 hours long. Skip it.
Arrive right when your time slot starts. The museum is less crowded in the morning. If you can get there at 9 o'clock a.m. when it opens, even better. Pick up a museum map at the entrance, or download the official Louvre app before you go. The app has maps and information about specific artworks. Before you enter, decide what you want to see. Circle those sections on the map. Make a plan. Don't just wander randomly. Go directly to your chosen sections. Don't get distracted along the way. If you plan to see the Egyptian collection, go straight there. Don't stop at every gallery on the way. Once you're in your chosen section, slow down. Really look at things. Sit on one of the benches and just observe. Read the descriptions. Think about what you're seeing. This is where the magic happens. When you slow down and actually pay attention, art becomes meaningful. You start noticing details. You start making connections. You start actually enjoying yourself instead of just checking boxes. Now, let's talk about the Mona Lisa specifically. Yes, you should see it. It's one of the most famous paintings in the world, but you need to manage your expectations. The painting is smaller than most people expect. It's behind thick glass. It's usually surrounded by hundreds of people. You will not get up close to it. You will not have a personal moment with it. That's just the reality. Here's the strategy. Go see the Mona Lisa first thing in the morning or last thing before the museum closes. It's slightly less crowded during these times. When you get to the room, don't fight your way to the front. Look at it from the back of the crowd. You can see it just fine from 15 feet away. Take a photo if you want, but don't spend 15 minutes trying to get the perfect selfie with it. Just take a quick photo and then actually look at the painting. Notice the technique. Notice the expression. Notice the landscape in the background. Then, and this is important, look at the other paintings in that same room. There are massive masterpieces by Venetian painters on the opposite wall. Most people completely ignore them because they only care about the Mona Lisa. Don't be that person. These other paintings are incredible and you can actually get close to them because nobody else is looking at them. After you've seen your main sections and the Mona Lisa, you have options. If you're tired, leave. Don't force yourself to stay just because you feel like you should. 3 hours at the Louvre is plenty. If you have energy, wander a bit. Pick a random gallery and explore. You might discover something unexpected. Some of my favorite art finds happened when I got lost in museums. Here are some practical Louvre tips. Wear comfortable shoes. You'll be walking and standing for hours. Bring a water bottle. There are water fountains throughout the museum where you can refill. If you get hungry, there are cafes inside, but they're expensive. Consider eating before or after your visit.
Wednesday and Friday nights, the museum is open until 9:45 p.m. Evening visits are less crowded and there's something magical about seeing art at night. The museum is free for visitors under 18 and for EU residents under 26. Bring ID to prove your age. Don't try to bring a large backpack. You'll have to check it at the coat check and the lines can be long. Bring a small bag or nothing at all. Photography is allowed in most areas but no flash. Be respectful. Don't block other people's views to take photos. The Louvre is free on the first Saturday evening of each month from 6 o'clock p.m. to 9:45 p.m., but it's absolutely mobbed during these times. Only go then if you're on a very tight budget and don't mind huge crowds. Here's the big picture. The Louvre is not a race. It's not a checklist. It's an opportunity to see some of the greatest art humanity has ever created. Treat it with the respect and attention it deserves. Quality over quantity. 3 pieces of art that you really looked at and thought about are worth more than 300 pieces you rushed past. Have a plan. Be selective. Take your time. That's how you do the Louvre right. And honestly, this advice applies to all museums and all sightseeing. Slow down. Do less. Experience more. That's the key to a great trip to Paris.
So there you have it. The top 10 mistakes tourists make in Paris and exactly how to avoid every single one of them. Let's recap quickly. Don't only visit famous landmarks. Explore real neighborhoods where Parisians actually live. Don't eat at tourist trap restaurants. Find real places where locals eat, and you'll have better food at better prices. Don't forget to validate your metro ticket and keep it until you exit the station or you'll get fined. Don't try to do too much in one day. Slow down. Experience Paris instead of just surviving it. Don't show up at popular attractions without booking tickets in advance. Skip the lines and save hours of your trip. Don't fall for scams. Stay aware. Keep your belongings secure. Use common sense. Don't skip learning basic French phrases. A simple bonjour makes everything better. Don't waste money on taxis when the metro is faster and cheaper. Use the right transportation for the right situation. Don't rush through the Louvre trying to see everything. Pick what matters to you and really experience it. If you avoid these 10 mistakes, you'll have a better trip than 90% of tourists who visit Paris. You'll save money. You'll save time. You'll have authentic experiences instead of manufactured tourist ones. And you'll come home with memories that actually matter. Paris is an incredible city. It's beautiful. It's historic. It's artistic. It's romantic. It's everything people say it is. But you have to experience it the right way. Too many tourists come to Paris with impossible expectations. They think it's going to be perfect. Then reality hits. Things go wrong. They get scammed or overcharged or frustrated. They leave disappointed. But Paris isn't the problem. The approach is the problem. If you come to Paris expecting everything to work like it does at home, you'll be frustrated. If you come to Paris expecting everyone to cater to tourists, you'll be disappointed. If you come to Paris with a checklist of 50 things to see in 3 days, you'll be exhausted.
But if you come to Paris ready to experience a different culture on its own terms, if you come ready to slow down and pay attention, if you come with realistic plans and an open mind, you'll fall in love with the city. Paris rewards people who take the time to understand it, people who learn a few French phrases, people who explore beyond the tourist zones, people who sit at cafes and watch life happen, people who appreciate art instead of just photographing it. Be that kind of tourist. Be the tourist that Parisians are happy to help. Be the tourist who has real experiences, not just Instagram photos. Be the tourist who comes home changed by what they experienced. You're going to have an amazing trip. I know you are, because now you know what to avoid and what to do instead. You're prepared. You're informed. You're ready. Paris is waiting for you. Go experience it the right way. Avoid these mistakes. Have the trip of a lifetime. You deserve it. If this video helped you, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more travel tips and guides. Drop a comment and tell me which mistake surprised you most or if there's another mistake you think should be on this list. And most importantly, when you get back from Paris, come back and tell me about your trip. Tell me what worked. Tell me what you loved. Tell me about the small cafe where you spent 2 hours watching the world go by. Tell me about the neighborhood you discovered. Tell me about the moment when Paris clicked for you. Safe travels, everyone. Enjoy Paris. And remember, the best trips aren't about seeing everything. They're about experiencing something real. Au revoir.